Well, good evening, everyone. I hope that worked. Yes, I did a couple of test runs this week to see if that was going to work. Can you just tell me if you could hear the music along with that as well? Because I had it muted at this end because I didn't want to make sure I didn't want to kind of like create any kind of feedback in case the mic wasn't muted or anything like that. But you all heard, oh, it worked. Thank you. That's the one. Right. So that's just something I knocked together last weekend. And there is an upcoming video on the topic of that little intro in a few weeks' time, showing you how I put it together and everything. Oh, and the music was there. Glad you all enjoyed it. Anyway, cheers, everyone. The beer has been poured, as you saw. And now it's time for the important thing, the business end of the arrangement. Oh, dear me, I can hear Dougal woofing downstairs. I might have to go and deal with that at some point, but at the moment it's the missus's problem. So how's everyone doing? It's do you like the T-shirt, by the way? I'll just move the microphone out the way. I like beer and my dog and maybe 3 people. A mate of mine bought me that. Yes, indeed. So yes, that intro is now a permanent fixture. A new T-shirt, is it now? Says Steve Cassidy. Yes, well, sort of, yeah. I haven't had it that long. It's not new today or this week. Glad that all worked fine because it was a little bit glitchy when I tried a test run earlier a few days ago. The video kept freezing, but there we go. Anyway, what are you saying there, Stevie Mac? I like the theme tune, not as good as Justin Hawkins' Rides Again, but ample and well focused. Also, thanks for the turning up vibe. Oh, nice one. Anyway, let's go. Let's, as you know, stick to tradition from here on in and see who we got in the chat. I see we got Terry Day was first in, and then we got Dave Fiendish, Rent to Kill, Mark Kerno. And who else we got? Steve Hale, Peter Nicholson, Grandpa Joe. Let's put you up on screen there, Joe. Cheers, John and all. Wishing everyone a happy and safe weekend. Fighting off the flu. Dear me, we'll get well soon, mate. This won't stop me from watching Friday 5 beer o'clock. It's like going to therapy. It is certainly is for me, and I think I speak for many people who take part in this little soiree every Friday. That said, I just do need to remind you, those of you who may be a little bit too far away to travel to Redcar, there will be no live stream next week, I'm afraid. That's because it's all taking place in person at a pub called the Gypsy Rover in Redcar. Yes, so those of you who are turning up for the Red Carmageddon event, the Gypsy Rover on Station Road in Redcar. I'm going to put up a community post this week just to make sure everybody's got the information, but just put that one in, tie a knot in something or write it down on somewhere. The Gypsy Rover on Station Road in Redcar is where we'll all be gathering from 5 p.m. onwards next Friday. So I'll look forward to seeing you all there, which obviously means that it'll be one of those rare occasions where there is no live stream this week or this coming week. I'm so sorry for that. Maybe I'll make some content to put out on Friday just as a kind of a consolation for those of you who, as I say, for one reason or another, can't make it. But anyway, let's get back to the chat. I said we've got Steve Hill, Peter Nicholson, Grandpa Joe, Anton, Craig Stamen is in, so is PFY Guitars. And who else we got? Oh, I see I've got a super chat there. I'll deal with that in a moment. Thank you, whoever that was. I'll find out in a second when I scroll down. Yeah, we got Anton, we got Craig Stamen, PFY Guitars, and Rob Bald is in, and so is Steve Entwistle, Dr. Gomez 1, Relaxing Meditation, Sean House, Robert Galbraith, Johnny Random is in, so is Cylon Hybrid, Graham Reeves. He's out for a curry tonight. Well, yes, we're all doing that next week. and wishing everybody that's turning up for the Red Carmageddon. I didn't christen it that, by the way. I think that was either Edwin Toonan or Rob Bald who came up with that name. It's one of those things that I wish I had thought of, to be honest with you. John Ross is in, so is Bill Mumbo, Peter Collins, Michael Palmer, who can't make the meet-up next week. But well, it's shame, mate. I'm sure we'll run into each other at some point. But I hope you're having a great time anyway next Friday. As I say, I'll probably throw some content together and schedule it as a premiere for next Friday at 5. And then we've got Paul Trainer, Theme Tunes, and Joe McMurray, Ian Clark, Mickey Walnuts, James Hunt, Johnny H, DJ W, Timbo is in, so is Cal Texper, and who's saying, what you saying there, Theme Tunes? You really like the look of the Duesenberg, but actually I thought it sounded pretty terrible. Okay, well, taste is a subjective thing, isn't it? Just wait until you hear the full track on Sunday. DJ W, what are you asking there? If anyone has a Charvel Model 7 or Surfcaster for sale, let me know. Well, put it in the chat if you've got one. And there's my phone pinging. What's that all about? Right, that's just the missus telling me that that Dougal has settled. Then we've got Stratboy 999, Michael Purcell is in, so is John Channing, Phil Amadeus is in, Jimmy James, David Evans, they're all in as well. So is David Mitchell, Stephen Sprosen, Cal B and the Rocco Cat is there, a regular around these parts. Then let's scroll down a bit further. We've got Dave Stevens and Rexa Matic is in, so is Vincent Brennan. What we got? What are you saying there, Vincent? The Smiths Are Dead is a new text adventure title for the Commodore 64, which puts players in Morrissey's shoes as he attempts to record the first solo single. Best up and okay. Computer games, is it? A closed book to me, I'm afraid. I played Space Invaders once in about 1980, and I hear they've changed a bit since then. So people tell me, but I wouldn't know. Then we got Ben Allmark. Every time I see you in the chat, mate, I always have to check myself and make a conscious effort not to say Ben Affleck. That would be something of a term for the books if he arrived in the chat one night, wouldn't he? Stranger things have happened. Then we got Blue Sofa Songs working from home today, 4:30 knockoff. Then we've got Malcolm Spillett. Have I said you already, mate? I can't remember, but anyway, I have now. And who else we got? We got Dave Stevens, the Essex Cat, Colin Falcon is in. How are you, mate? And Guitar Man is there. Oh, dear me, Ian Clark's bought himself a ukulele, gone over to the dark side. Dear me, yes. We shall speak of it no more, mate. Then who else we got? We've got Peter S. and Martin Brown is there. So is Eric, I hope I pronounced this right. Is this Luttinger? Or Luttinger, I do apologise. One of those has got to be wrong, so whichever one it was, I apologise for. From Syracuse in New York. I keep saying this every week, but I want to just make the point that, like, I hear these kind of exotic to me, for, kind of a baldy-headed, beer-gutted, double-chin lad from Yorkshire, kind of getting the people from far off and exotic locations like that watching me every Friday talk absolute gibberish for an hour. It really is kind of quite humbling. Thank you. Then I see we've got Pablo Hank and Thomas Mulvaney again from the northern end of the mighty Mississippi River. Yeah, exactly what I was saying about New York, mate. Then we got Fabian Dorian. I got a coffee as it's only 12 p.m. in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the same place my missus is from, and it's too early for a beer. In other words, work frowns on drinking while on duty. Yeah, that's the great thing about working for yourself, mate. Yes, I get on really well with the boss. We got Mott the Hoople 2010, and 3 weeks leave booked to do up the house, cut the hedge, set up 2 guitars and change tubes in one amp. Yeah, I noticed most of you doing up the house is involved in kind of doing guitar stuff. We got watches and guitars in the chat there. So's Alan Jackman, Dan Birdston, long time no see, mate. How are you? Then we got Cushman NYC. And who else we got? We got Michael Purcell. Have I said that already? I think I have. And then I think we've got Jay Ao Young. That's not a name I've mentioned yet. John Wild is in. And who else we got? Any newcomers as I'm scrolling to the end of the chat? Steve Cassidy guitar. How are you, mate? Anton saying need intro with Flake. We've got Brad Dowell and Dudley Squat in as well. And who else have we got? I think that pretty much takes us right the way to the end of the register. I'll scroll down. Oh, Ian Rouse, how are you, mate? And I think that's pretty much everyone. I need to see who sent me that super chat. I'm sorry there was no flake on the intro, by the way. It's that Heineken. It doesn't flake very well. And who else we got? I think that's pretty much everyone. Oh, Roy Angel is in. I don't like missing anyone out. So Jonah Cornish, Stevie Mack, and Jimmy James. That's where the mystery super chat come from. I've finally scrolled down. For the beer fun next week, since I'm far away and can't join you. Well, thank you. I shall throw that in the pot. As I say, I'm going to be chucking a few quid behind the bar. I'll either do that or I'll, pay a big lump off the curry bill like I did last time. We'll find somewhere. I will make it so that everybody gets some little kind of Brucey bonus for turning up. Who else we got? Anybody else new in the chat? I'm just scrolling down here. I don't think so. Lawrence Hastings, there you go, mate. And Michael Beliveau, some latecomers. Stephen Hedger, and where are we? I think that might be just about everyone. Apologies. Oh, Das Schaff is there. I think that's pretty much it. The roll call gets longer and longer every week, doesn't it, chaps? Anyway, after that mammoth blethering, I need some lubrication. Cheers, everyone. And yes, I've mentioned already the get together next week. I'll keep on plugging it throughout the show because I know people sort of come and go throughout the course of the hour. But something else I need to pick your brains on, really, partially on my behalf and on behalf of a chap called Adam, who's been in touch. He might even be in the chat tonight. I don't know, but because I do know not everybody uses it. Oh, there's Savvy in as well. Not everybody actually uses their given names as their kind of moniker in online and stuff. Oh, excuse me, wind. It's this Carlsberg that does it. It's that's what I'm on tonight because it was on offer in Morrison's. A chap called Adam got in touch this week and asked me if I was still using the Lakato budget wireless system that I used for quite a while, and the answer is no, I'm not. I got about a year, 18 months out of it, or maybe a little bit longer, certainly kind of a good wee while. I got me money's worth out of it, basically, and then it just died on me. So I am looking around for a new wireless system, and, something that's going to be reliable, something that's going to kind of give me a good long battery life, because I'm in here, in this room here, kind of plugged in and playing for a good 10 hours a day most days. So I need something that's got the longevity and the staying power and decent sound quality, build quality, and reliability. That's what I'm looking for, and isn't going to break the bank. And that is exactly what Adam is looking for. So if anyone has any suggestions for reliable, good battery life, inexpensive, relatively inexpensive, wireless systems, then put it in the chat, and we shall pool our wisdom. And I see theme tunes Theme tunes, you generous soul, you can't make it either next week, but have a poppadom on me, gang. Well, you are a generous chap there, mate. That will all go in the fund, along with, as I say, a sizable contribution from me. Michael Purcell, I can use my name as I don't troll anyone. Yes, I mean, I've never understood the mentality of the troll, to be honest with you, because, you know, if you don't like a video, and there are YouTube channels, there are guitar YouTube channels that I'm not going to name here, that I really don't like. I don't watch them. I've tried watching them and think, no, this isn't for me. So rather than, you know, kind of furiously typing away with a caps lock key engaged in the comments section and, you know, getting myself worked up into a lather, I just take the simpler route and think, well, yeah, I'm probably not going to watch that channel anymore. And I don't. The people who like it seem to like it. I don't, so I'm not going to watch it. What I'm not going to do is, you know, kind of get all abusive and vent me spleen, because in the end, speaking as somebody who's been on the other end of this, who, you know, I've had the odd troll from time to time. If you know, trolls, if you're watching, you don't make me angry. The only person angry in that transaction is you. So who's harming who here? You know, it's just anyway. It takes a different kind of mindset. I understand. So what we got, some suggestions here. Ian Clark is saying, I have the upgraded Locato wireless system, still working every day for over a year. That was it, because there was like I think the one I had cost me about 30 quid. And I knew I could see there was one for like kind of, you know, somewhere near double that. I can't remember the actual price now, but it was higher up the food chain. And I think I bought the cheaper one just to see if I was going to kind of be able to, you know, kind of get away with using a wireless system. And it turned out I was quite fond of it. So I am looking around for another one, and there'll be a review when I get it. So there's the Amun wireless system is getting some recommendations there. Line 6 Relay G10 had it for years. And Michael Purcell is saying, would like the transmitter that has external batteries. Yeah. Oh, and Rob Chapman has posted a video yesterday of a GTR 5 guitar, which appears to be completely Bluetooth by Mo, I think. Yeah, I think I saw Nick Jennison reviewing that some time ago for, who does he work for? Guitar Interactive. Or is it Guitar Interactive or Premier Guitar? No, Premier Guitar is the American one, isn't it? I think he works for Guitar Interactive. And, you know, give it a rather glowing review. Have I got another super chat? Anton, thank you, sir. Thanks for the recent Steve Rothery solo and shameless attempt to add a bribe for more in future. I should really look at more Steve Rothery, because every time, I've got to tell you, I'm not, you know, when it comes to Marillion, you are either a super fan or you're kind of just, they fly under your radar. And I'm one of the people who Marillion tend to fly under my radar. I have got a student, Jeff, if you're around, who is, you know, see, we've got Steve Cassidy, Locato WS70. Said it wasn't for you. Okay, fair enough, mate. Yeah, that's something that you do notice with wireless systems. It does add a little bit more top end, because you haven't got the capacitance of the cable. And thinking back to my my college days, you know, capacitors act as basically a path to ground for high frequencies, and a cable is essentially a big long capacitor. So, you know, it's not that they add high end; it's just that your cable robs you of high end. So you do have to kind of EQ a little bit for it. But you know, that was essentially me adjusting the treble control by one notch. Yeah, Marillion. they're a band that I really they're on my to-do list to check out more of. Obviously I know, Kaylee and a few of things like Lavender Blue and a few other bits and pieces, mainly that I've done for the channel. What else have I done? Incubus and Easter. I think those are the other Steve Rothery solos I've done. And everything I've listened to, I've liked. So maybe I should check some more out and do a bit more Steve Rothery in the future. Talking about in the future, I need to tell you what's coming up on the channel this week. Almost forgot. Sunday, we've got the Duesenberg review, that Duesenberg Star Player guitar that you saw me giving a first impressions of yesterday. Anybody like, I think it was Theme Tunes, that wasn't impressed with the sound of it, wait until you've heard it in a mix, because that is ultimately where an electric guitar is designed to be. An electric guitar is very much an ensemble instrument, as I keep telling my students. Don't worry if you can't hit that bass note in that particular chord. There's a person in the band with the word bass in his job title. Let them take care of the bass note, and so on. So we'll hear what it sounds like in a mix. Then on Monday, we have just again one of those guitar players who flies under the radar. I'm not going to try and leave any cryptic clues for this. On Monday, we are looking at a solo by the absolutely fantastic and very, very underappreciated Mr. Zal Cleminson from the sensational Alex Harvey band. This is just an absolute stonker of a solo, and you don't want to miss it. Thomas Mulvaney, you are a gentleman, sir. Please ask this to the pot for the first round of bees in the annual convocation of the Royal Order of Red Car Debauchery. I should get some badges made up with that on. The Royal Order of Red Car Debauchery. Yes. Thank you. That sparked something here for me Teespring store. Yes, for merch. I haven't updated that in ages. So yes, but anyway, the Zal Cleminson solo from a track from the sensational Alex Harvey band. That is what is coming up on Monday. If you haven't heard of Zal Cleminson, he was probably the only other I can think of band member other than Kiss that used to regularly kind of go on stage in full makeup. Oh, Steve Cassidy, thank you. Thank you so much. Gutted to miss Red Carmageddon. Remember to take pics for the pot. You, sir, are a gentleman and a scholar. I am blown away by the generosity that you're showing for this. This will be spent wisely on beer and curry. We're not going to kind of do anything silly like invest it in stocks and shares or put it away for a rainy day. This is all getting blown on next Friday night, I can promise you. I've just actually done a video that's going to be going out in a few weeks' time for one of the Sunday video slots, which is just a little homage to you chaps, basically. It's entitled "I Have the Best Audience on YouTube," and it's reasons like this that have made me, feel the need to make that video. Thank you, each and every one of you. Anyway, moving on. Talking about Zal Cleminson there being a much underappreciated guitarist. That is the topic of the Top 5 Tuesday this week. It's the top 5 underappreciated guitar players. There will be some on this list that you'll know, but I'll guarantee there'll be one that you won't, because he is pretty much unknown outside this locality around here. This guy, I'm not going to give away his name. You'll have to wait until Tuesday, but he is just an astonishing guitar player. He is, if I had any, kind of real life heroes that I could say, yeah, that not the kind of your Gary Moores and your Stevie Ray Vaughns. They are my heroes, but they're kind of in another realm. This guy, I've drank beer with and I've jammed with, and he is an absolute gobsmackingly fantastic guitar player. He can play jazz like West Montgomery, can play country like Albert Lee, can play rock like Satriani. He is an incredible guitar player, and he's going to be the one of the guitarists on the list on Tuesday. I am trying to get in touch with him to try and get him on the channel for an interview, but he's a bit of a recluse when it comes to social media and and YouTube and stuff, and I don't have an email address or a phone number for him, so I'm kind of putting out feelers to see if I can contact him in other ways, but it would be great if I can get him on. Anyway, you'll find out who he is on Michael Purcell, you sir, and Dr. Gomez. Thank you so much. I'm really, really humbled. Thank you. This will all go in the in the beer fund, the beer and curry fund next week. Again, this is what I love about doing this, right? There's such a community that's grown up in the chat on these Friday live streams that it's almost like I don't need to be here. You know what I mean? I'm glad that I am. David Evans, don't feel bad you can't contribute, mate. All we need is your best wishes. And I'm sure we've got those. I've been in your shoes, mate. We all have. Someone's saying, I didn't see that. I do apologise, Blue Sofa Songs. Another for the kitty. Probably buy 1 pint in London, probably 3 pints in Redcar. Thank you, mate. I do apologise. I missed your super chat earlier. That is so generous of you. Have I missed any others? No, I think I'm up to date with them all. But thank you so much, mate. That is massively generous of you. And as I said, David Evans, don't feel bad. You can't pitch in. We've all been there, mate. We've all been financially embarrassed at one time or another. And all we need are your best wishes. And I'm sure we've got those. Michael Palmer saying, any more contributions and you can drink Stolly Bolly all night. Yeah, well, I think I'll stick to the beer. Bolly, I believe, is champagne, and that is just, as I said last week, I think that's just, it tastes like Alka-Seltzer, but it gives you indigestion. Anyway, I'm lagging behind here, lads. Hang on. Where was I? Yes, I was talking about what's coming on the channel this week. Wednesday, viewers' question video. One that I often get asked by my students, but this one I think came in via email. How to not get stuck in one place in that kind of familiar pattern 1 pentatonic box. How do you move out of that? Cheers. How do you, make headway up and down the neck? Well, we're going to be looking at that on Wednesday. Then Thursday, a very generous student of mine actually loaned me his latest multi-effects that, is, excuse me, Carlsberg, gives me gas. Loaned me his latest multi-effects pedal, the Sonicake. Dear me, I do apologise. The Sonicake Matribox. 100 quid's worth of really rather good, kind of effects, multi-effects, amp modeler, all that kind of stuff. Loads and loads of stuff going on in there. It's the sort of thing that 20 years ago would have been, a grand if you'd wanted to buy something with these capabilities and this sound quality. And it's about 100 quid. Spoiler alert, I'm thinking of getting one because it is just really fantastic. And you're going to see me doing the first impressions review of that. And, Dudley Squat, thank you so much. That is very generous of you. And Calby and the Rocco Cat. Be a glorious beer. Have fun, gents. Listen, I do appreciate that you are chipping in for this, but I don't want anyone that is like David Evans is unable, is not in a position to be able to kind of, stick the hand in the pocket and throw into the beer fund for us lucky people next Friday. I don't want anybody feeling bad about that, and I don't want anybody feeling pressured to kind of do so, to be, one of the boys or anything like that. It's Simon Rice for aspirin and Alka-Seltzer on the Saturday. Yeah, I've got my flu shot on the Saturday morning. That should be interesting. No, it's actually tomorrow is my flu shot. So even more interesting. We shall see. I'll be up in time though. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, but I'm up at 5:30. Come hail, rain or shine or beer the night before. So yes, if anyone is kind of feeling a little bit like they'd like to put their hand in the pocket and maybe feeling pressurized to do so because of all the generous contributions that have come in, then please don't do what you can't afford. And as I said earlier, all we need are your good wishes, and that will suffice. And I'm absolutely humbled and blown away that so many of you who can't make it are pitching in to buy a beer and chip in for the evening for those people who are turning up. It just goes to show what I was talking about earlier on about the community that's built up in these live streams. I thought these were going to last a few weeks back in 2020. When they closed down the pubs because of all of the kind of pandemic and everything. When all of that kind of thing was, I thought, yeah, let's do something. Let's do a live stream. Maybe nobody will turn up, and here we are. 3 years later, just over 3 years, 3.5 years later, I guess, 189 of you currently sat listening to me spouting a beer-fueled stream of consciousness for an hour on a Friday, and that really does, it's a humbling and kind of fantastic feeling, really. And if I've done nothing else on this YouTube channel, just to have built up this community is something that I think I'm proud of. But you should be proud of it as well, because you're the ones who've done it. Anyway, I'm just going to have a quick vape. Malcolm Spillett is saying, I would have contributed, but just blow our savings on a wheelchair-accessible vehicle. Well, needs must, mate. And that is, your charity begins at home, as they say. And, we all are aware of you and your good lady wife's circumstances. And I'm sure we wish her all the best. And yourself, of course. And if that vehicle improves your and her quality of life, mate, then it is money well spent. I would much rather it went on something like that than a round of drinks for a bunch of gentlemen of a certain age on a curry fueled night out in Redcar. DJW, thank you so much, mate. Thank you. That is incredibly generous. And Guitar Man, more for the pot. I live in Norway and can't be there. Well, thank you again. Just that the fact that so many of you are pitching in for this, and you can't be here. And again, with the exception of a few of you that I met on the last one of these, I've never met the majority of you in person, and I feel like you're all really good friends and have done for some time. Thank you. What are you saying there, James? Trying to get some money together for a replacement car, thanks to our lovely mayor of... Okay, yes, yes, Mr. Khan, Genghis, as some people refer to him. Yeah, well, I don't live in London, so it doesn't affect me. And I don't drive a car either, so that's a double whammy. But I do understand that there are some people who are quite miffed at his policies, but this is not a politics-focused channel. The reason I want to keep it free of that kind of thing. I mean, you chat about what you want to chat about in the chat. I'm not here to police what people talk about. I am a bit of a free speech fundamentalist when it comes to that kind of thing. But I don't want to talk about it on here because, sadly, we live in a world now where We've got to a point where if somebody that you like holds a different opinion to you, suddenly it's kind of de rigueur to not like that person anymore. And I think that is toxic. I think it's poisonous, and I think it should be avoided. But it is the world we live in, and I just don't want anything as divisive. I'm not going to talk about anything as divisive as politics in my videos. That's what I'm saying. Because I want people to enjoy my videos whichever way they vote. Malcolm Spillett, as I said before, in the old days, my wife would have come with me to Red Carmageddon. Well, I did look into the idea of live streaming it, mate, but it just wouldn't make a good live stream, and it would be the logistics of it were something of a minefield. So I will make sure that, unlike last time, there are plenty of pictures taken and maybe a few selfies and maybe a little bit of video footage that we'll film, and I might cobble together a little montage of the evening. That'd be a good one. I see we've got Angel Martinez in. Greetings from New York, mate. Well, greetings from the North Yorkshire coast, mate. Nice to have you in. I hope you're having a beer, whatever time of day it is there. New York, I believe that's 5 hours behind us. So that's going to be kind of midday. So the sun is very definitely over the yard arm, as they say. Peter Nicholson, I just had a £1,200 council tax demand, 7 days to pay from the date of the letter posted 4 days ago. Yes, the absolute bar stewards. But at least they're spending it on worthwhile things. Anyway, moving on. What you saying there, Colin? I make it a rule never to discuss politics or religion, not worth the hassle. It isn't. That was always the old saying, wasn't it? Just don't talk about politics and religion. And now everybody carries a global broadcasting device around with them in their pocket, or pretty much everyone, excuse me, and can't wait to talk about politics all the time. And what a surprise, people start falling out with each other. I'm reminded of if there are any other what was he called, Douglas Adams fans out there. A massive Douglas Adams fan, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And I'm paraphrasing here, but there was one section. It was in one of the Hitchhiker's Guide books. It was either Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, where there were a race of hyper-intelligent beings on a planet far, far away, and they'd overcome hunger and famine and war and lived in peace and harmony with each other for all eternity. And the way the narrative goes is that naturally this kind of smug behaviour got right on the nerves of their galactic galactic neighbours. So the Galactic Federation, or whoever it was, imposed the toughest sanction they could think of. They give this race of people telepathy, so now everybody knew what everybody was thinking all of the time. And within 2 generations, society had broken down, war, famine, everything had happened. Can you think of any modern invention that has essentially meant that everybody knows what everybody's thinking all of the time? Yes, that's why I stay away from social media, I've got to tell you. Anyway, that was very much, wasn't it? In the... have I missed a super chat there? I think I have. No, I think I'm up to date. No, there we go. That was very much, that Douglas Adams bit there was very much in the vein of, as I say in all the videos, don't forget the live stream every Friday where we talk about music and guitars and whatever else crops up. That very much firmly fits into that whatever else crops up kind of category, doesn't it? I thought I put the Simon Rice super chat up. I see there's another one there. Let's Simon Rice for aspirin. And I remember reading that out. I apologise if I didn't put that up on screen. Thank you so much, Simon. You are a gentleman, sir. And I see there's another one dropped in since then. From Stephen Loffery. Raise a pint next week for the Sycamore Gap tree. Shame. Yes, indeed. I mean, that is just some malcontented little scrot that... if you don't know what the Sycamore Gap tree is, it's up near Hadrian's Wall, a Roman kind of, well, not monument, is it? It was a Roman wall across the north of Britain, built under Emperor Hadrian, and there's bits of it still there, and there's a big tree in a valley that's like iconic. You just see this tree, and it's there, and you only have to see that one tree and the shape of the valley, and you know exactly where it is. It's like, you know, kind of iconic for that region. And some irritating little scrote took a chainsaw to it in the middle of the night the other night and chopped it down. It's been there for decades. It featured in the Kevin Costner, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves movie. In that, it's just such a photogenic kind of vista when you look at that tree, and somebody's chopped it down. Again, it's what I was talking about earlier. You know, there are some people wake up every morning and think, what can I do to get on people's nerves today? What can I do to piss people off? I apologise for the language. That's pretty mild by standards, the current day standards, but I don't like to use that kind of language on the channel. But that's, you know, that some people wake up every morning and think that, what can I do to do that today? And, you know, it's just a mindset I can't get my head around. I'm going to start sounding like me dad soon, aren't I? A spell in the army would soon sort him out. You know, bring back national service. And you know, the older I get, the more I kind of start veering towards that kind of mindset. But anyway, yes, Jay Ao Young, it was a 16-year-old apparently that they've arrested. You know, and as someone else said there, it was probably some internet dare. How many confirmed for Red Carmageddon? Let me just have a quick reckon up. I will just have a final roll call, actually. There's my phone ping again. We've got Robert Bald, Edwin Toonan, Anton, Johnny Random, Craig Stamen. I've got Robert Galbraith +1. PFY Guitars, Bottleneck Bob Bridge, Dave Fiendish, Steve Hoggart, John Scott, Stephen Sprosen, David Phillips, and Kevin Young. Those are the names that are currently on my list. There may be one or two more lurking in my email inbox that I haven't added to the official tally, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 so far. Confirmed. The table is booked in Bengal Spice on Station Road in Redcar. You see, up there for thinking, down there for dancing. The pub that we're meeting up in is on Station Road, and the curry house is on Station Road. So we don't have far to stagger. Unfortunately, the little whiskey bar that we all decamped to after the curry last time has since ceased trading, so we shall have to find somewhere else to adjourn to for the afters. But you know, for the digestive, the brandy and, well, I was going to say brandy and cigars, but you know, the brandy and the vape, if such things are your kind of thing. Anyway, the lamb is here. How are you, mate? Pete77 is saying that, have you heard the Stones' new song, Angry? What do you think? They still got it. I think they do, actually. And I think, you know, this is the thing with old rockers. I mean, the last AC/DC album, Power Up, I think is a great AC/DC album. But I haven't lived with it for decades. So it hasn't had that sort of imprint on me that, say, Back in Black or Highway to Hell has. So I find myself not listening to it. If I want to listen to AC/DC, I want to listen to something that's kind of, you know, that's kind of got its claws into me a little bit. That's put down roots. But yeah, the new Stones song, it's exactly what you expect from a Stones song. It sounds, I mean, it's Mick and Keith and Ronnie Wood, and that interplay between Ronnie and Mick, between Ronnie and Keith is there, and it's it does sound like a record that was made in the 21st century. It doesn't have that kind of looseness and kind of slight swagger that you would expect of like something from, I don't know, Goat's Head Soup or Exile on Main Street, or that period of Stones that are like Beggar's Banquet, that sort of early 70s. Stephen Entwistle, thank you so much, sir. Have a vinegar on me, John. Indeed. Where are we? I wonder if they'll go on tour. I wouldn't put it past them, Steve. I wouldn't put it past the Stones to go out and do a few dates, because, let's face it, none of them need the money. But I was watching just a random video that popped up in my feed the other day. As I had YouTube on this machine, and I was editing video on that machine, and it was an interview with Steve Harris from Iron Maiden with his what's his kind of second band called, British Lion, isn't it? Yeah. His response to a question of why you're doing this, it was like, well, what else am I going to do on a day off? And I think that is very much, the sort of the same thing with the lads from the Stones. I agree. It's not going to be the same without Charlie, but there are some people who say it ain't the same without Bill Wyman. It's... did you know Bill Wyman has his own brand of metal detectors, by the way? Yeah, he's a metal detectorist in his spare time, and he's I think he's got a signature model metal detector these days. Takes all sorts, I suppose. Timbo is saying, yeah, Steve's British Lion, it's not the best. I'd be lying if I said I've heard them, mate. Iron Maiden are about as heavy as I get. It's interesting how the term heavy metal has kind of the goalposts have been moved since I were a lad, which is obviously a wee while ago. It's interesting how back in the 70s or even the 80s. I mean, in the 80s, Bon Jovi were considered a heavy metal band. And Iron Maiden, I'm starting to hear them described as a classic rock band, which I would consider them a metal band. Going back to the 70s, Thin Lizzy were considered a heavy metal band. But nowadays, it's not heavy metal unless you've got at least 8 strings and drop tune and you've got a singer that grunts into the microphone. I don't have a lot of time. And for that reason, I don't have a lot of time for modern metal. I still like the music that used to be called heavy metal, Rainbow, Judas Priest, all of the new, and a lot of the new wave of British heavy metal bands, from that period. Diamond Head, if anyone remembers those. That's still on my kind of regular rotation of listening. But nowadays, that isn't called heavy metal. I just think, I just wish they'd leave the goalposts where they are. Steve Cassidy guitar. Did you know heavy metal was coined by a journalist describing Jimi Hendrix music? There are many origin myths for the term heavy metal. The one that I've always gone with is that Steppenwolf, Born to Be Wild. I like Smoking Lightning, heavy metal thunder. The lyric from that song was my understanding of where heavy metal originated, but I have heard that there was a journalist who described the Byrds music under Roger McGuinn as being metallic. So who knows? It's one of those things that everybody has their own theory on, I suppose. But yours is as valid as anybody's, I suppose. Sean House is saying, I heard it was heavy metal was coined for Dave Davies of the Kinks. I think now you're ringing a bell there with me, mate. I think I've heard that one myself as well. Sometimes Thin Never Din. Nice to see you, mate. Heavy Metal Kids was the first I heard the phrase. Yes, featuring the fantastic and late lamented Gary Holton, who is famous for playing Wayne in Auf Wiedersehen, Pet. And, I shall be watching an episode of that later. Time Prophet saying the Kinks were the first to get distortion by slashing their speaker cone. I'm going to call you out on that one, mate, because it wasn't the Kinks. Link Ray did it before them on the Rumble, apparently. That music that can't. What? Let's pick up the Les Paul. I think it's it's that D to E riff that's now used in some insurance advert or something on TV. Johnny Love saying, just landed, who keeps moving Friday closer to Monday? It does come around quick every week. Like, I wake up usually a little bit, shall we say, dusty on a Monday morning because I have a virtual pub night on a Friday night. It started during COVID, on Zoom, and we're chugging back the beers and what have you. And so Monday morning there's often a little bit of it's a little bit, as I say, dusty, and Friday seems an awful long way away, and then I just start working and just grinding on through, and suddenly it's Friday morning, and there's curry tonight, and there's a live stream, and it's fantastic. Monday Night Lamb live stream, perfect cure. I didn't know you did a live stream on a Monday, mate. Unfortunately, I'll not be able to participate because I'm doing lessons right up until 9 o'clock on a Monday evening, and after that, I just want to sit in front of an episode of Wheeler Dealers or Salvage Hunters with a beer and just veg out, because I've been, as I say, I get up at 5:30 every day, come hail, rain, shine or hangover, and I'm kind of shit, shower, shave, walk the dog, breakfast and what have you, and I'm in here for 7:30 most days, and that's me till kind of 8-9 o'clock most days. So that's why I don't get to see a lot of TV or YouTube, for that matter. What I will do though is I shall check some out, Lamb. I shall go and check some out, because I don't know if like you, but as I said, usually I'm kind of, if I'm editing videos or something, I'm kind of working on that machine over there, and I'll have YouTube on over here, and some days you'll get okay, that channel's released a new video. I'll stack them up, and you get a kind of a list going, and you can go between them. And then other days it's like, there's not much to watch today. I'll just stick Spotify on. But it would be David Evans is saying, why are you watching Wheeler Dealers when you don't drive, mate? Lol. I know I don't drive, but it's I do like watching that show. It's an entertaining show. It's basically changing rooms for cars, isn't it? And it's just the whole kind of makeover thing. I've learned a lot about cars from watching it. I've learned that, things like a limited slip diff is good. Don't know what it means, but I know it's good. Flappy paddle gearboxes are not good. Don't know what that is either, but I know it's not good. So, I can talk the talk. I could have a conversation with somebody about cars. I wouldn't understand a word I was saying, but, but anyway, Yes. I think I was far enough into the stream for it not to matter, mate. And there you go. Anyway, what can I tell you? Sometimes the mask slips. But yes, Lamb, I shall check out some of your archived live streams, mate. How are you getting on with that little project, by the way? Me and the Lamb and Steve Cassidy have got a little thing happening, and hopefully I'm going to persuade another prominent UK YouTuber to make a contribution as well. Well, he said yes, but I'm not going to kind of name drop and tell you who he is, because that might be a bit previous of me. Let's have a look. I know diff is a differential time profit. I still don't know what it does, though. Where are we? Let's have a look. Where are we? We want to see your missus and Dougal. My missus, I'm afraid, is very, very camera shy. She especially on a Friday, because she's been out on the market selling jewellery that she's made all day, and this evening she's come home and she looks rather, what shall we say, windswept. And I'd have to do my hair and put my face on. Go away, So she's a bit, and usually the moment she's in the door, she's changed out of her kind of her outdoor clothes and got into a stay-at-home leisure wear, as she calls it, or we call it pajamas. And Dougal is actually featuring in an upcoming video. You're going to be seeing some video footage of Dougal. I'm doing a blind test between two guitars, and I don't want you to see which guitar is which, so I'll put some images and footage of Dougal up for that video. That's coming up in a couple of weeks, I think. So let's see what else we've got. Mrs. Brown, yes. Blue Sofa Songs is saying, wishing everyone going to Red Carmageddon a great and safe time. Well, thank you, mate. And Time Prophet is asking, how long does it take you to put your hair and face on? It takes a lot of work to look this good, mate. I've got to tell you. Yes. Anyway. Right, chaps, I think that's about time to call matters to a close. Thank you, each and every one of you, for turning up and watching a fat, bald northern lad with too many chins and not enough hair talking absolute cobblers for an hour. It's been a blast, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. And a special thank you to all the generous souls who've chipped into the beer fund for next weekend. As I say, I'll probably knock some content together as a little bit of a premiere for next Friday. I'm just thinking what that can be. Maybe that could be the blooper reel. We shall see. I'll have a think, and I'll put something up as a premiere for next Friday. But for now, I'm going to go downstairs and get the heat on under the curry and drink some more beer. So until next time, gentlemen, please.